Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It's 9 o'clock. It's time for another video, and today I'm back with the 3 Best Trick series. Now, recently on the 3 Best Trick series, I've been doing kind of a look, an introspect into different creators' material that they've put out, and it's been very well received. The first one I did was on Joseph B. If you haven't seen that one, you can go and check it out. And I've had a lot of people saying, can you do another one? So I'm going to do another one right now. This is going to be 3 tricks by J.C. Wagner that you've never seen before, or 3 awesome tricks by J.C. Wagner that you might not have seen before. You see, the thing is, J.C. Wagner is no longer with us. He's passed away, which is a real shame. But J.C. Wagner was one of the greatest magicians of all time. He was one of the top bar magicians in the world. He was up there in a genre where you had people like Scotty York and Doc Eason. He was right up there. He was a trailblazer when it came to bar magic. And anyone who's seen J.C. Wagner perform will know that he was equal parts talented and hilarious, and would have the audience literally on the edge of their seats. Now, unfortunately, as he's no longer here and he's passed away, a lot of younger magicians, a lot of magicians that have only just recently got into magic might not have seen of J.C. Wagner or even heard of J.C. Wagner. So this video is intended to try and get people to seek out J.C.'s material, because he was incredible and he had some really strong magic. And if you guys like this particular video, I could do another one. I could probably do 3 or 4 videos on J.C. Wagner. If you'd like me to do that, let me know in the comments down below. But today, we are going to be looking at 3 J.C. Wagner tricks that you might never have seen before. So without further ado, let's get to it. So the first J.C. Wagner trick that you've never seen before, the first awesome J.C. Wagner trick, is Twisted Collectors. Now, what is Twisted Collectors? Well, Twisted Collectors, very simply, is J.C. Wagner taking a Twisting the Aces style routine and collectors and mashing them together into one amazing trick. And that's basically what it is. He's taken Twisting the Aces and collectors and put them together. And you would think that that wouldn't work because it would be very convoluted, but it does work. And it's probably one of the, if not my favorite collector's routine. And I've been doing this for as long back as I remember. So we're going to get into this. I'm going to show you a performance of Twisted Collectors. And then after you've seen the performance, we'll talk about exactly how it all, why it's so good. So let's have a look at this.
How you doing, mate?
What's a collector's routine?
You'll find out. No, you will find out. I'm about to show you. I'm about to show you. This is like visual aids. I'm going to take out the 4 queens. Before I do anything, I'm going to take out the 4 queens. So we have the 1, we have the 2, we have the 3, we have the 4 queens. Now, normally I'd do this with 3 people. I haven't got 3 people here. I've just got you, and Jack's got the camera. So I want you to take 3 cards out. Pretend you're 3 people and take 3 cards out. They can be from different parts of the deck. It's totally up to you. When you've got the cards, your job here is to remember all 3 of them, which is kind of tough because there's 3 cards. But you can get Jack to help you.
I'm still remembering 1.
You got them, Jack?
Yep. You got him, yeah?
Yep.
Try your best.
I'll try.
So 3 cards. Now, before I do anything, these cards have to go into different parts of the deck. So I'm going to pop 1 there. The next one goes slightly further up, and the next one goes slightly further up again. So you've got 3 cards going into 3 different parts of the deck. And I'll give the cards a couple of cuts. Do you want me to give them 1 shuffle?
Sure.
Give them a shuffle as well. Lost in the pack. Now, I don't know where your cards are, and frankly, I don't need to know, because the 4 queens are going to find them. You see, the reason I took the queens out, there were 2 reasons. The first reason is I didn't want you to pick a queen. This would not work if you picked a queen. But the second reason is the queens are the most magical cards in the pack, and I'm going to show you how magical they are. People think it's the aces, it's the queens. But you've got to use all 4 queens at the same time. So you've got to have the Queen of Hearts, the Queen of Spades, the Queen of Diamonds, and the Queen of Clubs. And as long as you've got the 4 queens, you can do amazing things. Now, these queens are actually going to find your cards, but before, and I'll put this here so there's no way I can cheat, but before they are finding your cards, I'll show you how magical they are. I'm going to make these queens turn face down. Not like that. That'd be stupid. I'm going to make them turn over by magic. Watch. So they start off all facing the right way, yeah?
Yeah.
Now you take 2 of the queens and you turn 2 face up. So you've got a face up queen, 2 face down queens, and a face up queen. If I square them up and I turn everything over, you've got a face down, two face up and a face down. The two face up are in the middle, right? Until I do this. When I do this, what happens is all of those queens turn face down. See, the queens are amazing. I'll do it again in slow motion. You're not meant to repeat a trick, but I will. If I just take one queen and turn it over, yeah?
Yeah.
And I snap, now all of the queens have turned over, right? So I'll show you in slow motion. Look, in slow motion, every time I twist, one of the queens will turn face down. Give a little twist. That's the first queen right now. We'll do it again. Give it a little twist. Wait a second. That's the second queen there. That leaves the two black queens. Let me do that again. I'll put them there in between. Give a little twist, and now we've got the third queen.
What the fuck?
Not bad. The last one, you give a little twist. Remember, doesn't always work, but if it does, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 queens. So the queens can turn face up and face down as much as they want, right? But I want you to hold these queens like this, from above, like that. From above. There you go. And what I want you to do is drop them to the square with the deck. Really, really slowly. Take them and drop them on top of the deck. That's it. Square everything up. Now pick up the deck as if you're about to deal. Do you remember your 3 cards? What I just did with the queens was good. But this is why I use the queens. This is why they're the most magical queens in the pack. This hand, snap. Now spread the 4 queens out. And you'll see, keep spreading, that there's 3 cards in between the queens.
What?
And I didn't even do that. You did it yourself. There's 3 cards. Now, take that card and put it face down on the table. Take that card, put it face down on the table. Take that card, turn it face down on the table. Nothing else in between the queens, right?
No.
No. Put those there. Jack, what were the 3 cards?
Out of hearts.
And then the
King-
2 black kings.
Yeah. What do you say?
Really?
Yeah.
I'll turn them over.
Oh my god. Any comment, Matt?
You okay?
Got nothing. That's nuts.
Isn't that great?
So that is Twisted Collectors, and as you can see, there's a lot going on. One of the reasons I love this trick so much is I do regularly find myself in a position where I'm performing at events where I've got to be quick. You know, I've got to get around a lot of people. I don't have much time. I've got to get in, do some strong magic, and get out. What this effectively allows me to do is it allows me to perform a routine where there's maybe 10 or 12 moments of magic in a 2 or 3 minute period, and then I can move on to another group if I have to or if I want to. Because don't forget, as a magician, we look at something like Twisted Collectors and we think, well, okay, it's one trick, right? It's just one trick. But in reality, Twisted Collectors is multiple tricks. If you look at it from a layman's point of view, they're seeing 12 separate tricks. Every time those cards turn over, that's a trick. Every time something happens, that's a trick. So you can walk away from a group after 2 or 3 minutes and having performed apparently 10 or 12 moments of magic, 10 or 12 tricks. So that's the first massive plus to this trick. The other massive plus is you don't require a table at all. You really don't require a table. You do require a little bit of audience management, because what you do is you show the kings at the beginning, or whatever cards that you're going to use, and you take those away from the rest of the deck, and then you put the deck down. Now, if you put it down, there's not a problem. But what I do when I'm doing walk around is I hand the deck to someone to hold, and I get them to hold it in between their hands. You've got to be careful at this point, because if they spread the deck face down, they'll see something's not quite right. So you don't want them to spread it face down. Now, the way to get around that is to give it to them face up, and to get them to hold it in between their hands. But it's still, with a little bit of audience management, it's something that can be done completely without a table, which is great. There's also no angle issues to speak of. A lot of the routines like this require stuff like half passes or even passes. That's not the case with this routine. You literally can do it just from an Elmsley count and a Jordan count and a couple of other bits and pieces. It's not a difficult routine to do. There's a lot to remember for sure. There's an awful lot to remember, but it's not difficult to do. One of the other big positives to this trick is that you're going to get 3 spectators involved. And I always love it with close-up magic when you can get more people involved than just one person. Because then more than one person is getting involved in the trick, it's becoming more interactive, it suddenly becomes a much better trick. In this case, you're getting 3 people to pick cards, so all 3 people are now invested in the trick in some way or another. And also, the twisting sequences are so strong. Like, they really are so strong. I love that he's got a couple of moments before going into the main twisting routine. Like, hey, I'm going to have them all turn over. I'm going to do it again. If I turn one card over, they all turn face up. You've got those really nice moments that set people up. And then you go into the twisting the king style sequence. I love that. I love that it kind of builds and builds and builds. And that routine does build and build. I also love the fact that at the end of the routine, you just drop the kings onto the deck, spread them out, and with no moves, you show that the 3 cards in between the kings are the spectators' cards. A lot of the time with collector's routines, that's not the case. A lot of the time with collector's routines, what tends to happen is when you have the cards when you drop the 4 of a kind on top of the deck, you end up in a situation where you have to do some sort of adjustments in order to show that they are the selected cards. But that's not the case with this routine. You literally just drop and show. You could even give the packet to the spectator, have them drop it onto the deck, and have them spread the deck themselves, because at that point, you really are done. It's such a strong version of collectors. Perfect for walk around, perfect for extreme close-up situations, perfect for parlor. It's just a real workhorse of a routine. And obviously, because it was created by J.C. Wagner, it's brilliant for bar magic. So that's Twisted Collectors. It's a great routine. Now that you've looked at that first trick by J.C. Wagner that you might not have seen before, we're going to go into a second routine. Let's have a look at that one right now. Okay, so the second routine that I'm going to talk about is J.C. Wagner's Torn and Restored card. Now, J.C. was one of the first people to kind of put together a piece-by-piece Torn and Restored card. Now, this was obviously before Guy Hollingsworth came along and really revolutionized the Torn and Restored sort of card plot. And obviously off the back of that, there's been some amazing piece-by-piece restorations by people like Cameron Francis and Danny Garcia, and the list goes on and on and on. For me, and I've studied a lot of the different versions of Torn and Restored card, this is still the version I actually prefer. And the one negative to it, and you're going to see it in a minute, and the one negative to it that people always bring up is that final piece doesn't restore. So you take a card and you very cleanly tear it into 4, and then you restore the pieces one at a time, but they hold on to one of the pieces as a souvenir, and that piece doesn't get restored. I actually quite like that, because having that final piece not restore and giving them that card like that, it creates a real impossible object. And what I mean by that is they can look at that and they can remember that that card was in 4 pieces, and now it's been magically put together into 3 pieces, and they've still got that one piece that fits there as proof. Now, a lot of people have actually approached this Torn and Restored card and tried to come up with a way to deal with the final piece problem. And I remember Tommy Wonder coming up with a version which really fooled the pants off me, that used double-sided tape. I've even come up with a solution that maybe I'll talk about at some point. But even with my solution, even though I restore the final piece, I then unrestore it as well, which doesn't make much sense, but it does if you see the routine. I'm going to save that for another video. Today, I'm going to perform for you the original J.C. Wagner Torn and Restored card, because frankly, if you don't do this, you really should. It's a lot easier than most of the other Torn and Restored cards that you've seen these days. It's a heck of a lot easier than the stuff that you'll see Guy Hollingsworth do and Danny Garcia do. It's very, very deceptive though, and it really does have the feel of a piece-by-piece restoration without sweating blood and tears. So without further ado, let's have a look at it. This is a performance of JC's Torn.
Right. But you are going to pick any one of these cards. You can have any one you want.
Any card I want.
Yeah, any one. You're going to write your name in it, so maybe one with a bit of white space, but it's totally up to you. Cool. And big letters. I want you to write the name. Can you do that for me?
I'm sure I can.
Thank you very much, Ski. And put a smiley face in the corner. That's very good. So, what you're about to see, Matt, uses your signed card. And what you're about to see is an illusion. It's not real. I know it's not real because I know how it works. It's an illusion.
I would like to think you do.
I know how this works. I've seen the trick before. It's pretty good. But you're going to think that you're seeing me fold this card. I'm not. It only looks to you like I'm folding this card. You're going to think that I'm then taking this card once I've folded it. You think that I'm tearing it. But I'm not. But it is a very convincing illusion. Like you would swear that that looks like it's being torn, right? In fact, continuing the illusion, it kind of looks like I'm tearing it into four. I mean, does that look good from your side? Because from my side, I can see it's actually not torn. But how does it look from your side?
How is that not torn?
I mean, it's an illusion, like I say. In fact, can you take one of those pieces? We'll call that as a receipt. That will be proof that what you see here is not real. Watch.
It is.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not. Watch the other pieces, right? We'll start with this one. If I take it and do this. And then we'll take this piece. I can take those three pieces and put them back together. And that leaves you with that one piece, which matches exactly, which is proof that you just saw something impossible.
Watched him tear it.
I watched him tear it.
But that is...
That's definitely your signature.
So that's the Torn and Restored card by J.C. Wagner. Isn't that a really fun routine? Now let me talk about some of the positives to this trick. So first of all, the gimmick takes like 2 seconds to make. You can get a couple of cards from a deck and you can make 4 gimmicks in like literally 1 minute, which is enough to last you maybe the whole evening of performances, right? You just throw those gimmicks into your pocket, and when you want to do the routine, you grab one of them and you're good to go. They can take any card from a deck that they want to, makes no difference. It doesn't like it has to be a court card like some of the other style of routines do, and they can sign that card freely, absolutely 100%. You then go into the tearing procedure, and the real positive for this is it looks so deceptive. It really looks like you're tearing that card into 4 pieces. And that display where you show that you've got 4 pieces of card looks incredible. Like it looks so clean. When you give them that one piece, they are convinced that there's still 3 pieces that are completely loose, right? But at that point, you're ready to restore the card. And it's the beautiful thinking of J.C. Wagner that makes this whole thing possible. Now, it's actually not very difficult to do. There's very few angle issues to take into consideration here. It's something that will work in the real world absolutely brilliantly. And as I say, it gives people an impossible object that they will keep and look at in the future. Now, I remember when I watched JC do this on tape many years ago, he used to use a jumbo card. So he taught it using a normal sized card, but he used to do this behind the bar with a jumbo card. Because of how the gimmick's made and because of how you actually do the routine, you can actually do this with a jumbo card. So imagine doing that routine that you just saw me perform, but with a jumbo card. It's actually not that difficult to do. There is a little bit more thought behind it, and you do have slightly more angle issues, but in the right time, right place. A torn and restored card with a jumbo card, I mean, come on, that's absolutely incredible, right? So, yeah, J.C. Wagner's Torn and Restored card. You absolutely want to look into this. As with all of the routines, I haven't mentioned this by the way, but as with all of the routines, you can learn all 3 of these from J.C. Wagner's Commercial Close-Up Volume 2, which I believe is still available as an instant download. J.C. Wagner's Commercial Close-Up Magic, not Volume 1, Volume 2. That has the first routine, the Twisted Collectors. It has the second routine, which is the Torn and Restored card. And it's also going to have the third routine that I'm going to be talking about in a second as well. Now, if you do like this Torn and Restored card, look out for a video in the next week or two, because I'm going to be sharing with you a way of actually doing JC's routine, but actually restoring the final piece of the card as well, which is my solution to the problem. It's a little bit of a different style of solution that you would imagine, because I end up actually tearing the corner off again. But look out for that, I don't want to include it on this because I want this to be about JC's original material, but it is something I'm going to be talking about on the channel in the next week or two. Suffice to say, the Torn and Restored card is brilliant. Let's have a look at the final routine I'm going to be looking at on this video. So the final routine I'm going to be looking at on this video is Royal Detectives, again by J.C. Wagner, obviously. Now this is a sandwich routine, basically, where a card vanishes from in between 2 black aces and appears in between 2 red aces, and so on and so forth. It's the presentation of this that really sells it, and also the structure of the routine. This is a perfect example of one of the things that JC was really best at, which was routining stuff together to create really impossible moments that doesn't actually take that much work. He was, I mean, obviously I've studied his material. I didn't know him personally, but from studying his material, he comes across as somebody who is more than happy to take the simplest approach to deal with the problem. Now, the simplest approach might be a self-working sequence, or it might be a difficult slice. In this case, this is a relatively simple routine, but at one point he's using a gambler's cop. And he uses a gambler's cop, which a lot of people are scared of, but he uses the gambler's cop because at that point, it's the best possible move that he can use to achieve what he wants to achieve, right? If that makes sense. So I'm not going to go any further into this. I want to have a look at the performance of the routine. So this is a performance of Royal Detectives by J.C. Wagner.
Cool. I'm going to show you a trick.
Another J.C. Wagner trick.
Another J.C. Wagner trick. He's gone, but his legacy lives on as long as we continue to perform his tricks.
Absolutely.
And this uses 2 black queens, and they're perfectly okay, and there's nothing weird about them. They are just what they appear to be, 2 black queens. Now, you're going to pick a card, and we're going to do it in a very fair way by having you cut the deck somewhere in the middle. It's totally up to you, so cut a packet of cards over to there. There you go. And this trick is all about choices. Do you want that card there or the bottom card of that packet?
That one.
Okay, so that's the card. Have a look at it, don't forget it. I'm going to put it, we're going to guard it. That's what the queens are there for. They're going to guard your card. Okay. So in other words, your card is the only one in between the black queens, right?
Yeah.
Now, I need you to do me a favor. I'm going to take this this deck. Can you put your finger on top of it like that? Because the idea is I'm going to try and get your card, which is currently here in between the black queens.
Yeah. I'm
going to try and get it to appear in the middle of the deck.
Okay.
So you guard the deck. Would that be good? Because you could have picked any card. You put it in between the in between the kings. You did queens. You did everything, right? Watch. 1. 1, 2, 3.
Wait, what?
Go on.
Each gone.
Just go. Show your finger.
Open your hands. The fuck did that go?
Lift up your finger.
It's not.
It goes down in the middle of the deck, face up in a face down. But you know what's really going to confuse you when you think back to this? Not that the card disappeared from between the queens. Not that it appeared face up in the deck, but how it appeared right in this position next to the 2 red queens.
No way!
That's
This way.
sick.
That's so good.
Isn't that great?
That's really good.
Isn't that awesome?
I like it. So that's Rule Detectives by J.C. Wagner. It's a super fun routine to do. And as with everything that I've shared with you today, it's super commercial. It's very, very easy to do. It takes very little skill. You can do it anytime, anywhere, and you are good to go. It's a regular shuffle deck of cards in use. Yeah, there's a couple of moves like a half pass and a gambler's cop that you have to learn. But, you know, these are very useful moves to get down anyway. Out the 3 routines I've shared with you, this is probably the one that is the most technically advanced, but it's not beyond any intermediate magician. You know, if you've spent some time studying card magic, you shouldn't have a problem with this at all. When JC performs it or performed it, and you know, his presentation was about bodyguards holding on to this, that, and the other. He just lit the room up every time I saw him perform this. So it's a really strong sequence. It's a really great routine, and it's highly recommended learning it. And as with the other 2 routines, you can actually learn this one from Commercial Close-Up Volume 2. So all 3 of these routines are on Commercial Close-Up Volume 2, which is available as an instant download. So you can go and get that. I don't think you can get the DVD anymore, but you can get the instant download. So there you go. That's Rule Detectives. Let's wrap this video up. So there you go, guys. That's a video right there about the legend that was J.C. Wagner. Now, do me a favor. Let me know if you want to see another follow-up video about J.C. Wagner, because I can do that for you, no problem. I haven't even talked about classics like J.C.'s Final Closer. I haven't talked about transpo juxtaposition. I haven't talked about JC's handling of the card on ceiling, just to name a few. So if you'd like to see another video about JC Wagner, please let me know in the comments down below. And also, if you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. I'm going to be back again tomorrow at 9 o'clock with another video. But once again, thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already done so, go check out the NETRIX. It's www.thenetrix.com. We've got big announcements coming soon right here on Magic TV to do with the NETRIX. But thank you for your continued support. I'll see you again soon. My name's Craig from Magic TV.